One of the topics that I've been researching through foster care and adoption was, obviously being a 20-month-old, it doesn't necessarily relate, but at certain stages in their life, a foster child might, I was researching potential like mental, just developmental or emotional issues that they may have. Were you informed about any potential problems that may arise from such a case?
Yes. First of all, on the mental aspect, he was essentially a newborn when he came home with us. When he came home, just to pinpoint it, to that time, he was very much at risk of not fully developing mentally.
Okay.
As far as the emotional things, other than having drugs in his system, I think he's not at risk at some of the other things we were told about, the separation, the move, because he went straight from the hospital to one home, ours, and so it wasn't, he didn't get wrenched away from some of the things we've heard about, and he didn't get moved from home to home. But developmentally, yes, we knew up front, and still know it's not really clear developmentally where he'll reach. Emotionally, I think he'll be spared that sort of, grabbing on, and although if he ultimately moves from our home, that, to a new adoptive or back to the parents. But fortunately for him, and it's kind of unique, I would think, or close to unique among the foster care kids, that will be his first move. Because he never got pulled out of a home into a foster home. I mean, almost by definition, you have to have two moves.
Yeah, exactly.
But he went from the hospital to one home.
So, being a foster parent as of now, is there a certain guideline or time restriction on how long, for instance, a child would be with you?
No. There is a federal law, which you might be aware of, that says after, and I confess, even though I'm a lawyer, I don't really understand it and haven't looked at it, but it says something like after 15 out of 18 months in child care, unless certain exceptions exist, they're supposed to be on a track to a resolution. I think that either means they've already gotten the child at home, back home, or they've started termination. Termination could take another year after that. So in that sense, you have sort of an end game as a foster parent, but there's never a real defined, you never know up front, is my understanding.
Yeah, because you mentioned that they did have